Last night was a long night. It was a long night. But good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. I said I was gonna get on live today, and I was gonna talk about a few things. Shalom, shalom, brother. So appreciate that peace. You know what I'm saying? I need that energy. Hey, can y'all hear me properly though? Can y'all hear me? Sound check, sound check. Can you hear me? Grand Rising, appreciate it. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Peace, peace. Like I said, send that love to me. I need that. I need that. We always got to start our mornings off. Well, we shouldn't start with morning. We know about the spell casting about morning. No, I always start with positive energy. I really do appreciate those shalom. Shalom's heart to heart. And if you a person that doesn't say shalom or peace or anything, grand rising, happy solar return, or I'll return back to the 5Ds, etc., 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 that hey, use your type of proper literature, how you address people when they arise. So as long as it's peace and positive, send it my way. I need that. I was going to say something about your choice and words. Hey, it's fine, bro. Hey, if you want to get on live too, you can. Just send an invite in. I'll put you on too. But like I said, peace, everybody. I hope everybody having a good day. Shoot, it's snowing down here where I'm at. And if you in the Arkansas area, the ancient lands, the Great Mississippian Empire, what I call it, should be safe on the roads. And also, my brothers and sisters, the Aboriginals over there on the West Coast, when we hearing about this tsunami coming in, hey, peace and blessings to you, and I hope you safe. Get out of that area because you know they've been wanting to attack that side for a very, very long time. Be safe. Get your children, be safe. Get out of there. Don't wait. And just by the way, this stuff already been erupted. It been happened. You know they're gonna let you know at the last minute. They're gonna let you know at the last minute. That's what they do. They let you know at the last minute. You only got so little chance to leave in. We know it was pre-planned. It was pre-planned. They wanted to start it. You already know the agenda, mass depopulation, stuff like that. You already know. So what you gonna do about it? Is you gonna stand there like a sitting duck? Or is you gonna be about it? Alright. But I just want to share something last night. I was in a debate last night with this guy named Murphy or something like that. I had this man running for his money. Basically, he was saying prove that the African Americans, whatever term, I don't like using that. He said prove that the African Americans are the originals over here. And he said prove that the Africans came over here. Man, I only brought out one source from a book from the 1600s, and he couldn't even prove anything. Man, it was so bad that he had to bring somebody else in. He brought what you call them goat hairs. He brought them in. And you know what happened? The goat hair couldn't even explain himself. He was trying to use his words as an opinion. I mean, he was trying to use his opinion as a fact because what he called himself, he perceived himself as a Native American. I was telling him what he is. I said, you Mongoloid, you are Siberian, you're Eurasian, Eskimo. Allegedly, Genghis Khan sent you over here. He was a Khan, he was a king over here to fight Prester John, who was the king, who was the king of the Americas, who was Amaruka. I say you not the original. I'm pulling up, trying to pull up black skeletons and all types of things, Negroid skeletons and stuff like that. And know what I'm saying? They refused. They kept trying to silence me. And then they kept flip-flopping saying, oh, it's pseudoscience. And I'm like, I said, prove what I'm saying, pseudoscience. Prove that the book that I have revealed, which is the American history of the American Indians by James Adair. I said, prove that. Prove that this book is pseudoscience and fallacies. He couldn't prove it. That's all he just kept saying. Then they booted me out. if you're gonna debate properly, you gotta prove somebody. You gotta prove that their statement is a lie with expert proof, like expert archaeologists, expert historians, real sources, not Wikipedia. Google's not a credible source. You got to use real journals and things like that to discredit an individual. So those are ones that want to debate, that want to debate me about me being an Aboriginal and my seed line is Chickasaw and Chickasaw of my family roots here down here in Arkansas in the great Mississippian Empire. Then hey, I can pull up stuff from the National Archives to prove what I am. It ain't my fault that you won't go out and prove this same things for your own family line. And also I was proving the fact that those Aboriginal Americans is not only the Indians, but also Hebrew Israelites. Because during that time, you got the Algonquin language that's similar to the Hebrew language, and it's synonymous together. Now, at one point, we can say that the whole world was speaking Hebrew, which is true, but they traditions was linked up to the Torah, which is the Old Testament laws. You know what I'm saying? And they found the 10 Commandments written on stone somewhere close to Mexico. And they got Hebrewic artifacts, you know what I'm saying, that was found. Yep. They do hate the truth. They hate it. And it's cool to see people who understand this. Even if it's in their face, exactly. It's like you deny evidence because it goes against your mindset and you're not smart enough to perceive like, hey, I am the Most High and I'm trying to show you that what you're saying is not true. I said, if you go back to pre-Great Reset, when I say pre-Great Reset, I appreciate that. Thank you. If you go back to pre-Great Reset, and I'm speaking pre-Mud Flood, pre-Tartarian Empire, what they did, what you see, they still had those books of old, right? To see how to prove things, you got to go to written books. Do not go to something typed up on the internet when it's dealing with the past, because it could be edited. Never go look at old books that was revised and edited in the 1900s. Don't ever do that, because they changed truth of what they had. You got to go to the first editions or the second or the third editions. That's before the 1800s, early 1800s. You got to do that because they changing a lot of things. You see, like I say, if you want to get on live with me, you can. If you want to chop up and spit some literature, if you want to debate, we could do that too. It is what it is. Come on, get your followers up. Hey, it's peace and love. I want to learn too. Share your knowledge with me. But of course, I'm going to ask you serious questions if it's rejecting what I study. Now, I'm not going to be a fool and quickly deny you. But if you want to be Aboriginal, I'm going to quickly deny you because I already know where your seed line comes from. Comparing your scores to Mongoloids and Siberians and Russian and all those things, and y'all linked up together. And they got our skeletons proving that we've been here for a long time, especially New Orleans. All them mummy coffins they was pulling out of New Orleans. Why you think they flooded it? Pay attention to these places that they flood out in the South. Pay strong attention to them because it got something to do with our ancestors that could discredit the whole entire academia system concerning the Aboriginals of this land, who they call the Aboriginals of this land. You get me? You following? Okay, now let's go ahead and get into it real quick. Let's go and get into it. I want to talk about Darwinism. Darwinism is basically the belief of natural selection and the belief that we spawn for ape-like people. And the people that believe in this type of thing, they do not regard human beings as a person that bears souls. They just view you as a flesh bag, and you're incapable of being intellectual, similar to a communist and a Marxist. You get what I'm saying? Charles Darwin was a racist that believed in white supremacy and things like that, and believe in the natural selection and the survival of the fittest. That's what those things came from. Charles Darwin is the head that sits on top of the pyramid of that. You get what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, we're gonna put up the green screen. We're gonna pull up the green screen. All right. Understand. I want you to understand what a theory is. All right. A theory is a conception, a mental scheme. It's basically a plot. It's a mental scheme and a plot. So when you say evolution theory, or natural selection theory, or space is a theory, it's just a mental scheme. It's not a real fact. Because today, if they still deem it as a theory, then it's just an ideal. And a lot of the academic colleges, things like that, professors have based their beliefs off an idea, but not a fact. And it's still going up today. There's just like me saying every sunrise, there's going to be a fire truck driving down 13th Street. And that's just a theory. And I'm going to call it the fire truck on 13th Street theory. It's just, that's a stupid concept. But you get what I'm saying. But occasionally you might see a fire truck just by chance. They call it the chance theory on 13th Street on sunrise. But it doesn't mean that's true all over. So they just build their stuff out just strictly just theories. That's it. Hold on real quick. Who said that? They don't want, of course they don't want to debate. They don't want to debate at all. Nobody's not ready for no debate. Especially with one that actually read and not just glue everything and just only read captions. There's a lot of things what people do. They Google, just read the caption and don't go into the meat. It's like they scared of something. They don't have the patience, nor they don't have the time. Hold on. I was sending the live. They don't have the patience nor the time to actually research. Just reading captions doesn't mean you told that fact or you explained something. That's not how you prove something. So we take their theories and test them ourselves exactly. That's what we do. Now, how can you test evolution? How can you test evolution? How can you test gravity? What do we do on a day-to-day basis? You know, that's messing with gravity. I'm talking about the gravity where you floating around. We got a light switch you can turn on. We just start floating. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a theory. That's all it is. You said self-reflection through your perception and experience. Yes. Through your perception and your experience. But is your perception and your experience actually really that? Like, for example, people perceive their God You know what I'm saying? As what they perceive and what they experience, but it could every time they perceive that God, they actually experience it their higher self. You get what I'm saying? A lot of times, there's if you go look up stories about people when they die and stuff like that, they have dreams about their religion and they perceive their religion as true. I'm talking about when they die and come back, they swear up and down they saw JC or they saw Buddha or Muhammad. They saw these 72 virgins. They all it's based off your mental power of what you believe. Because that's the way how the universe can make you understand what it's trying to say. That's basically how that worked. That's how that concept worked. Because if it was our religion was the same, if our religions was true, or if there was everybody else perceived their religion as the true one, that everybody would have that same dreams or after death experience that come back as of that religion. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. But as I was saying, theory is just a mental scheme. That's all it's just a mental scheme. All you just plotting something. And basically that's what all our literature, what we believe in, what we study today, is just theories. It's just ideals until we can prove it a fact. Evolution still hasn't been proven as a fact. Every time I call it a theory in effect. How can something be a theory in effect? Make that make sense. It's the wordplay. How can a theory be a theory in effect? You call it a theory in effect so you stop people from looking into it because I'm already calling it a theory at the same time. When you say, if you call it a fact, now it's people for to challenge you. But if you turn around and call it a theory at the same time, oh, it's just an idea. Don't point the fingers at me. That's playing games. It's semantics. They're dealing with literature. They're dealing with the English language and a critical point where you can't perceive it and cause confusion. Just like saying I told the truth and a lie at the same time. No, it's either you told the truth or you told the lie. You can't tell truths and lies. It's either you a truther or you're a liar. And what a theory is, 90% of everything that we been taught in the academia side is a mental scheme. It's a mental scheme. This is the reason they don't want to debate me, because I can make something so simple that a baby can understand. But let's get into, there's another thing I want to touch base on. I want y'all to keep that mindset. You know what a theory is. Don't let them fool you and make you think that a theory is a fact, because it's not. It's not. I'm teaching you naturalism. This is the way. This is the naturalist. Hawaii. All right. It's this right here. But you put a W in front of it. Abo. Abo means an aboriginal person. But it's also a racist term. So they calling us something similar to the N word. Every time they get on here and they see that we practicing the literature that we are studying, they automatically call us this racist term, but add a W in front of it. But I got the one with the W. But I just want to warn you whenever you see these things. Be mindful of what they saying, or the racist term that they giving you. We see this all the time, my family. Ignore the profile picture. Is just, hey, that's the grand architect. Hey, all this is just a creation. I don't care if you're black or white. If you out here speaking truth, you speaking truth, but don't come on here lying about your ethnicity. Because we know what you are. That's all I'm saying. But if you black, you black, you white. If that's what you call yourself under the Black Law Dictionary, you're black. That's you. You are a non-existent person. I like when people actually say their nationality or who they are. Because you conscious of your reality. Not a speculation of who you are. Okay. It says Abo. It's Australian slang. But later they made it American. You see? I don't know if you can see that. But it's applied to an Aboriginal person. Is this, you see? It's offensive. We see these folks calling us this. We see these folks calling us this, right? And we just not saying nothing about it. So every time y'all see this, brothers and sisters, that practice the Aboriginal and naturalist concept, you start calling them out when they do this. Don't let them get away with this racist Aboriginal term that is not in your literature. Make it in your literature. As you make the N word in your literature. Do not be ignorant. But Weibo, or whatever you say, it's a term to define the African American who denies the transatlantic slave trade with pseudo theories and fallacies to rewrite the Mesoamerican and Native American history. Now you notice this is not on a real credible dictionary, but this is on an urban slang dictionary because this is something that they created. The bywords, proverbs and bywords, they got to create in secrecy. And we thinking it's just a abbreviation of some mess. I used to thought it was called wannabes or wannabe all of us or whatever how they say it. But now you see, Grand Rising Dreadhead, appreciate you coming on live, bro. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Tribe of Judah. Judah in the house. Judah here. Shalom. Peace and blessings. I see all different types of belief systems coming in, and you don't realize. A lot of people don't realize everything we believe in is coming into one. It's coming into one unified, and eventually it ain't gonna be no more separatism, which is what science is. It's to divide and separate. Whenever somebody talk about science or bring up the term pseudoscience, it just means fake separation. And we know that our ancestors made the symbol of creation is the circle. And it means everything got to move in motion all together. You're not supposed to separate things to learn how everything works. That's what science do. Conquer and divide. Separate. Yes. And now, what people don't understand is, when I say naturalism, the naturalisms to me is the Torah, the first five books of the first five books in the Torah. What the Torah is the law. The first five books in the Tanakh, which I call the Bible, but I call it Tanakh, or I call it the natural way, the ancient path. Because that's what our ancestors really did. I got old Native American books from the 1600s of expeditioners coming over here, and they stating that the Aboriginals of America had similar traditions to the Hebrews. The Jew, they call it Jews. Now, what other people got that? Man, you got the Igbo tribe in Africa. You got to look at the people and their traditions because it's 12 tribes. Well, you got the tribe of Joseph. So to me, it's actually 13. But what I'm saying is Tribe of Joseph is two tribes in one. But what I'm saying is, you just can't look at us and expect we all are the original Israelites. We Most High say He sent us to the four corners of the earth, and there's more continents on this earth that we don't even know that our brothers and sisters is at, but the elites know. Y'all know about Tartaria, earth pools. I'm telling you, I'm here to school you. Now, me personally, a lot of people, I'm just going to say it, I only believe in the natural way. And the natural way is the Old Testament. That's the only thing my base is when it comes down to a natural system. That is my base. And I already compared it with different ethnicity groups and ancient cultures of the world to prove that it is truth. That's just my self analysis on the things I believe in. I test it. I don't be ignorant what my belief concepts is. Now, those are people that be like, oh, the Bible ain't true. Those people haven't effectively read their Bible like I have. I read it 4 times completely, including with the New Testament. That's why I reject the NT like that. It's only one. I only believe in one. The one power, that's it. There's no others beside me. That's like what he said in Isaiah. No others beside me. And sure, I got the proof who our ancestors served before they instituted JC, who was really Roman Emperor Titus. Do you think there is truth that it stands belong need of the Bible? There's a lot of truth. I'm not gonna sit up here and be biased because of my belief system in it. The Bible does have some fallacies in it when it comes down to the repeated translations over and over again by our conquerors. So you got to be smarter. You got to be smart enough to know what is truth and what is not. There's truth in it and there's fallacies in it. But you got to learn how to take the meat and throw out the bones, the old sayings of our ancestors. Because there's truth in every little, even including the New Testament. There's little truth in every little thing. But you got to be smart enough to throw the bones away. Like, for example, the reason I reject the New Testament is because it opposes the Old Testament laws, which the Most High said, I change not. Then he said, I'm going to reestablish the sacrifices and all these settled things, the feast days. And he said in Ezekiel chapter 18, no man could die for your sins, period, point blank. No man could die for your errors or wrongs. So that means demigod, Nephilim / God, angel, nothing can't die for what I've done. I'm responsible, accountable for everything that I do. It's the natural law of the way. It's the circle. Everything in the circle spec. Everything moves in a circle. That's naturalism. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's a true thing. You go shoot somebody, then in a couple of years you get hit by a car. Or you die in prison. Or you die by sickness. It's linking up to the natural things that you've done in your life. It's law. That's why I call it the Old Testament natural law, because it's true. Whatever everybody call karma, that's just an old saying, but it is a false deity at the same time. But karma, that's true. That's something lies at your door. You got evil wickedness going to be lying at your door, and it's going to come get you. It's just natural law. If you do something wrong, you don't get away with nothing. Just like if you end up getting into something when you already did something a couple of weeks ago to a month ago, you're getting your debt. You're getting a debt paid for all the evil things that you're doing throughout your period of your time on life, your time of life here. So you might be struggling with the bills. You might be, your relationships might be falling apart. Your kids might be disrespecting you. Everything might be just be falling apart in your life. It's because of that sinful debt that you're paying back. Once you gave out negative energy, it's going to return. Until it extinguishes, then it starts over until you do something right. then the blessings, the blissfulness will come to you. It's just the law of energy, law of attraction. It's your actions. Okay, I got some comments. Revelation 12:12 is the only part I believe in pertaining to the Israelites. Hey, that's your concept and that's what you believe. Exactly, bro. Dodge the hijack. It's a lot of hijacks and everything. A lot of hijacks and everything. And the problem is everybody sitting there absorbing the hijack. Then when we prove that the hijack is a lie, they so dumbfounded and they can't grasp it. Like when you go and prove to your granny who's a preacher and you tell her like, hey, grandma, blah, blah, blah. JC is not true because he ejected his father's laws, blah, blah, blah. Here's a straight diagram of all the laws he did, he created versus the laws of Yahweh. He said, turn the cheek. Most High said, don't do that. JC said, agree quickly with your enemy. So he won't, at least take you to the courts or whatever. That's lying. That's lying. There's a lot of things that is done wrong. I mean, there's some stuff I'm not going to mention because TikTok would, you know what they do. That's all you do. If you wanna learn what is true is what not, if you struggling between that JC concept and that Old Testament concept, this all you have to do. Read the first 5 books. Read all the laws. Study it. You can skip all the part how they know what I'm saying, creating the temples and all those things. Just read the laws without thou shalt not do. Read the creation of the Messiah oil. I believe is in Exodus chapter 38. You got to pour the holy oil on an individual for them to become a Messiah. Messiah is not a spiritual thing. It's a physical thing. That's why you always get this saying, pouring the consecration oil on their head, and then they become a king or a Khan or a priest Khan. You get what I'm saying? Everything is physical. And what people perceive as spiritual, it's just illusions. That's just illusions. I'm telling you, spirituality can make you dumb. Yes, anointing oil is the Messiah oil, the Mashiach oil. That Murphy guy you was on live with yesterday, bro, was out of his mind. Exactly. Everybody, look, if y'all would have got on the chat, if y'all would have got on that live last night, man, it was almost to 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. Man, if y'all would have seen all his fans, they kept yelling, get naturalism back on live. Get naturalism back on live. Get all these fools out. Now, there was a couple of good guys. My guy, Red, he was on there. But, hey, man, everybody, I turned his fans against him. Start getting a whole bunch of followers. Well, you know what you're talking about. The soul resonates with it and be like, hey, man, I think this brother telling the truth. Your soul going to resonate with truth, bro. It's in us. It's in us. Once you step out of delusion and start going with your intuition, you know what's true and what's not. Now, he said because of the translation, exactly. The reason a lot of people, the conscious community ejects the Tanakh, which is the Bible, they say it's a slave man book. Correction, the New Testament is a slave side because it makes you submit to your enemies. The Old Testament, if you read it, is you actually sit down and read it. You're not submitting to nothing but the only one. That's it. That's it. So actually pick up the book and start reading it, analyzing it. And I want you to know that those same names like Moses and all that stuff, those ain't the true names. Names changes throughout history. These stories are way older than what you perceive. And nothing ain't, like for example, Egypt, nothing isn't what it really is. Where the location is, it's not there. The Great Reset changed every location in the world. It changed everything from the old world to the new world. The establishment of Africa, and wasn't even called Africa, it was actually called the Great Empire of Libya, which was the top power. I got old maps that prove that Egypt never existed on a continent. In the bottom part of that, it was called Ethiopia. We had 3 Ethiopias during that time. On Earth, there was 3 Ethiopias. That one Ethiopia definition that simply means dark skin, but we had 2. Well, in reference, well, we really just had 2 Ethiopias. We had one over here, which is the real old world, and we had one in what they deem in America. I mean, in Africa, which was the south side of Africa. So Africa was 2 empires: the Great Libyan Empire, and they had one little country on Africa in the north, in the desert, and it was called Africa. Real talk. Appreciate that. But I'm gonna go on to the next thing. Well, I talk about Weibos. It's basically just a term that they call us when we prove that the transatlantic slave trade really didn't even happen. Like, we don't have documents of those ships. I'm talking about real hand documents, not computer generalized PDFs that they putting on some type of archive. They don't have the real paperwork. They got blueprints, but anybody can make a blueprint at a given time. Anybody can do that. They're in no museum. There is no slave boat. No slave boat. They got other boats. They got rowboats and stuff like that. Rowboats. And during that time of alleged 1619, there was no real ship boats like that. They were rowboats. And then you got to think about it, have in mind. It took they say, they said that it took 7-8 months selling from Africa to America. You on a boat this close together, barely can move, wasting on one another, and you not eating for 7 months. There's gangrene. A lot of people dying, a lot of pregnant people. Then on top of that, you got all these sicknesses and diseases going on close together like that. And you mean to tell me you went 10 months without eating, living in a very extreme harsh condition? Think about that. Could you survive on a boat? On a rowboat, because that's what it really was. It wasn't no real ships. Because there's no real ship sprung from the 1500s to the 1600s. What they deemed was ships wasn't even ships. Those was rowboats. Rowboats. They only draw these pictures of these boats, but you don't see the boats. They're alleged cargo slave ships. There's no such thing as a cargo slave ship. There's cargo ships now. When you look up now, that's a cargo ship. A containment, them containers, that's a cargo ship. But those little old small boats, no sir, they was only big enough to fit at least 100 people. Are you telling me we got those many boats sailing back and forth, and it takes 10 months to get to Africa from Portugal to America? You telling me that? Do you know how stupid you sound? If you face me in a debate, do you know how stupid you would sound? Just using pure logic. Cause we know where this slave trade mess came from. It ain't came from us. It didn't come from our ancestors. Not one ancestor would tell you that. Martin Luther King even say they always been here. They got Malcolm X and all these iconic alleged African Americans, all of them saying in their documentation that they always been here in some sort of way. But we still pushing the fallacy of Charles Darwin, saying, oh, they came out of Africa. The only one. And it's been proven that Charles Darwin is a lie. And that's the part I'm going to prove. But yeah, this right here, you be mindful when they call you this racist term. Just know you better have your literature together when you're about to prove them wrong about this transatlantic slave trade, because there's no boats. And if you want to get on live and debate me, you can. I will let you. I will let you. You better bring that source. You better come tough. All right. Let's get back into it. Said, why the theory of evolution? All right. We get into Darwinism. Like, let me tell you again. I gotta explain it to you again. Darwinism is the theory of evolution that people came from primates. Humans came from primates, and there was a natural selection that they only have intercourse with certain people at that time to spawn the alleged races of today. And they say that all of these alleged specimens came out of Africa and spread it everywhere else. That's the fallacy, the racist fallacy. And we already know about the racist terms that they called us. They only called us the Monkey. That's what they kept calling us during that time. And they got it from who? It's actually two people. Franz Wardenwick, the German, he was an anthropologist. He rejected the Darwinism theory. And you also got Charles Darwin. Okay. This is a lot. This is where most of their theories come from, is Charles Darwin. It says a materialist philosophy which accepts only the existence of matter and presupposes man to be a heap of, hold on, phone, it's acting up. Okay, it says a heap of matter asserts that he is no more than an animal. So you see what they doing? Darwinism is a materialist, and they view humans as just a heap of matter. They're just saying you just a slab of skin. That's all they're saying that you are. Darwinism. This is what a lot of schools push today is so bad. This is what your children is learning. Evolutionary theory. And they cannot interject because this is like the religion of science. It's like the religion of science. Explains why they treat humanity the way they do. Thank you. You are intelligent. You're intelligent. Thank you. Thank you. Am I following you? Yes. Thank you, my brother. Teach. Facts. Keep teaching, brother. All right. This is why. Because, like I said, when you get on TV, when you watch TV, all they talk about science, trust the science. Science. You don't understand the science. The core of science is Darwinism. Evolution. The change of things. They don't have no sympathy for human life at all. That's why they creating these. I'm not gonna say it because I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying. You know what they creating today and what everybody's taking, and left and right we dropping like flies. Yeah. Soak that in. You know what I'm talking about. What's going on today? And we in an age when they telling the truth about it. Yes, sir. But it says proposes man to be a heap of matter, asserts that he is no more than an animal with a conflict, the sole rule of his existence. Although, propagated as a modern philosophy based on science. Is science. Materialism is in fact an ancient dogma with a scientific basis. Convinced that ancient Greece, the dogma was rediscovered rediscovered by the atheist philosophers. So to believe in Charles Darwinism means you're an atheist. No matter if you're a Christian, no matter if you're a Hebrew Israelite, no matter if you study Buddhism, no matter if you study naturalism, to believe in evolution means you're an atheist by default. By default, because you're a materialist. And you view man as matter. Nothing more. And that's why you have no sympathy for humans. The true humans, mainly us. That's why the world could do whatever they want to us, because that's their religion. Materialist Darwinism. If people consent to being from monkeys, people relinquish their natural. Thank you. As I'm following you. I'm following you. An intelligent. She said something very intelligent right there. So y'all need to understand this concept. Did you know that Charles Darwin later rejected his own theory? Before he died, he said he was wrong. But no, society said, no, this feeds my supremacy, so I got to get it. I got to push this. I got to put it in all the schools. I got to make this the foundation of the medical corporations. I got to build something off this. And this is what they did. Look at society today, based off on Darwinism, Marxism, far left. But you're gonna see how this goes together with Marxism, communism, and all these things. Okay, it's the atheist philosophers of the 18th century when Charles Darwin kicked off. It was then implemented in the 19th century into several science discipline by thinkers of the Karl Marx. Marxists, BLM, Marxists, Karl Marx, Charles Darwin, Sigmund Freud or whatever you say. In other works, science was distorted to make room for materialism. In the beginning, science was natural. Then when these philosophers came to be, they changed everything. Get what I'm saying? If you don't know nothing about Charles Darwin, you're going to learn today. And you're going to tell your family members, I ain't no monkey. I'm not no monkey. I don't know. I'm not. Within 300 years approximately, they will be extinct. Okay, I'm not gonna say all that because TikTok. But yeah, yo word, what you saying? New Jack's back. You gotta follow. Another. He's surfing the wave. He understand the drop. You see how everything is coming in circumspect, how we all seeing this together? Because like the sister said, how do you test a theory? Because what I'm showing you is a theory of my own, and it's self-experience. Self-experiences prove this. We're just going to call this the naturalism theory. And now it's a natural fact. It's a natural fact. Because we live this day to day and we see this day to day. It's on the news day to day. It's on the radio day to day. And the big thing is on social media day to day. They got to tell you the truth, then turn around and tell you the lie. And paint science as if it's good, but it's Darwinism. Atheism. To be an atheist. Okay? At the bottom it says, I can't really see it. It says a deceptive message of materialism, reducing man to an animal whose existence It's seeing. Ah, dang, my mind messing up right now. Coincidental, coincidental. I don't know. With no responsibility to any being, demolish moral pillars such as love, mercy, self-sacrifice, modesty. I think they say honesty, justice, having been. I can't really because the comments is in the way. Can I slide it over? Can I slide the comments over? No, I can't. I can't slide the comments over so I can read the rest of that. Uh, all right, just skipping past that part. Having followed by the materialist motto, life is a struggle. Rappers say that life is a struggle. They put that wave. They give us that wave and they say that. So to believe in evolutionary theory and natural selection, that means you practice Darwinism. You have the faith. You have a hidden religion that you don't even know that you follow, which is separatism, to separate and to perceive life as nothing but a coincidence. That's all it is. The law of chance. Exactly. Here's the funny thing. The global theory, the global ideal is totally deceptive. Listen, what did the sister say earlier? How do we prove a theory? By our everyday lives and experience. How many of us is going in the alleged outer space and looking at this global earth? How can we prove that theory? We could get on Google and look at NASA photos. Well, they already say all they photos is artistic. Artistic. Art. Most of everything you believe in is art. Most of everything you believe in is art. Art is you painting your ideals. What you perceive in your mind, but not in reality. Just like how they make images of diseases. They show the little circle with the other little circles connected to it. Art. Or Mars. All these things. Art. Art. All you believe in is art. In a perception of what somebody else perceived within themselves, but not in the outer. It's art. That's all it is. They're trying to create us in their image by injecting a perception. Exactly. Just like, you got metaverse. Metaverse technically is art. We not living, what people can say we living in a matrix simulation. You can say that, but how can we prove? Can I take this invisible wire, this invisible cord from the back of my neck and wake up? No, because our perception of what a matrix is this society. There's real people that actually think we're living in a computer. And I still be flabbergasted by that. We're not living in a computer, but we're living in a fake society. That's the matrix. And the real people that's not living in a fake society is people that got sovereignty. But that's another concept. We could talk about sovereignty now. Now, if every Aboriginal man in America got sovereignty, do you know how many people got to get out of prison that same day? That means the government no longer has jurisdiction over you. Because you're viewed as a real human being under the law. And a real human being under law cannot be controlled by a fake system, by a corporation. Only a corporation can control a corporation entity, and that corporation entity is people that have corporation citizenship. Black Law Dictionary, I could bring it out and show you. You got a corporation constitution. Every state is a corporation, which is just a building. And the departments within that state, Walmart, Walgreens. It's just a department within the department within the department. And your house that's owned by your landlord, your master, that's just a department you stay in. You are not recognized as a person. You just recognized as a person that's just a corporate person. That's all it is. You don't exist. You and I perceive that we exist by under what's that? Semantics. We don't exist. Have you seen an American citizenship card? I have. At my job, people showed me their American citizenship cards. Where mine at? Oh, you was born in America, so you automatically citizen. Why is there WYT? That's how I'm gonna say it. WYT censorship. WYT people with American citizenship cards. American. Sovereignty, private citizen. A lot of y'all ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. Okay. Brother said facts. Hold on. They are trying to, yeah, I already read that. NASA is Hebrew in deception. Yes. NASA. It's from their point of perception. Exactly. Everything is based off perception. Perception, what we perceive. We perceive ourselves as free. I can do what I want. No, you can't. Go punch somebody in the face in public in front of a police officer and try to not go to jail. Try to restrain yourself. Start resisting. Let's see if you can do what you want. Let's see what you can do what you want. You grown, you can do what you want, huh? But if you get your sovereignty and everything and create your own system, I can't say that G word because this is their system. But you create your own system, your own status, recognize your nationality, create your independency, create your what's that called? I said independency. Create your anthem, create your constitution. You create all those things and get it signed by the Secretary of State all the way up to the president. Then you will have your sovereignty. Update your birth certificate to a certificate of life. Eliminate your social security card, get an EIN. Matter of fact, you don't even have to move in that process. There's a lot of things out here. Don't have to pay taxes. You can go work for anybody you want. You have a naturalism card. Nationality card. All that. Watch how your life change. But you ain't getting no more taxes. I'm gonna let you know that right now. You ain't getting no more taxes. But you're not gonna get taxed no more. You're not gonna get that Social Security, Medicaid, all that stuff. You ain't getting that no more because that's only for corporate servants. But I'm on to a whole nother topic. Let me get back into it. But yeah, we are perceived. It ain't just us, because there are some others that's not of our complexion. That was unfortunate to be born in a corporate society, and they shunned by their own people. The very powers that be right now. So they're just like us, especially if you went to prison. That's why you see a lot of them with us, because they understand that concept now, and they a lot of them can't even afford to be a sovereign citizen because it's gonna cost money, big money. It says they stole our sovereignty. Yep, but we can also gain it back. The Catholic Church know exactly who we are. Washington D.C., the Vatican. Okay, going to the next one. I'm not gonna be able to read that. God dang. Hold on. This. I was reading this book yesterday, and these are just screenshots for what caught my eye in this book. If you want to know the book that I'm showing you, let me show you the screenshot of that book real quick, so y'all can go get the drop, or I can create a media yourself, so you don't have to pay no money. It's called Harun Yahya, The Evolution Deceit, the scientific collapse of Darwinism and its ideological background. Get the screenshot if you got to. Get the screenshot if you got to. Because this book is powerful right here. It's a real powerful book. All right. So, okay. Sources. Don't listen to people that don't give you sources. All right. It says, furthermore, let's see, is anything important up there? Okay, I didn't highlight it, so it must not be important to me. It says, furthermore, Darwin proposed that the fight for survival also applied between human and racial groups. According to that fanti, fantastical claim, it said favorite races were victorious. Favorite races was victorious. What was the favorite races? In survival of the fittest, favorite races was victorious. In the survival of the fittest, or the fight for survival, the same thing. It's synonymous together. We know Darwin. Darwin was a racist. We know who he was. But he said favorite races were victorious in the struggle. Favorite races, in Darwin's view, were white Europeans. African or Asian races had lagged behind in the struggle for survival. Now, how they became the top? How? How? Being cunning and crafty. That's how. The serpent was the wisest above all beasts. The serpent, the wild man, wild wolves. You gotta if you want to catch that wild man documentary on my private page, this I'm gonna show you what it is. But it's Naturalism of Yahweh 3. It's basically just a white photo of myself. It's my private page. And the only way I'm gonna accept you, you gotta have at least more than 100 followers. You gotta have videos, and you gotta be Aboriginal. You gotta be of Aboriginal descent, or if you're of a different ethnicity group, I gotta see some type of source that you pushing the truth, like real truth, to be accepted in that private page. Because man, I've been banned from TikTok twice. One, I reached almost 50,000 followers, and the other one I reached 35K, and then they banned me. So I'm doing everything in secrecy. Like yesterday, I said I was going to make another one. So total in all, I'm about to have 4 TikTok pages. But the majority, my big dog people that I follow and my big dog people that follow me, they automatically have followed me. They already know. They got old videos of me, and they sent them to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to, you know what I'm saying, had to delete everything in my phone so I can create a new TikTok. TikTok is stopping people that is banned from creating new TikToks. But the only way for you to create a new TikTok, if you got banned, you got to reset your whole phone. You got to put everything in a backup, but you got to reset your whole phone. You got to wipe it clean. Make sure I'm telling you, put everything in your backup. Everything. Then that's how you can, if you take TikTok serious and you trying to develop money and all these things, that's the way to do it. You got to delete everything in your phone. You got to factory reset it. Then you can make a new account. That's the only way. Or you can just, if you fortunate enough and you got another phone and you don't got TikTok on there with your same account, because if you got your same account on there, you won't be able to make a TikTok in that phone either. But if you got another phone, or you ball and just go buy a new phone and just do it like that. You know what I'm saying? But the most easiest way is to delete everything in your phone, wipe it clean, put it in some type of Google storage backup, and also put it in Samsung backup, put it in your iPhone cloud backup. Do all those things and you'll be able to make a new TikTok again and start out over. And keep all your old videos so you can re-upload them. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I had to do. But my newest one is going to be, I'm going to be wearing a mask. I'm going to be wearing a mask. My voice is going to be changed. I'm saying only the people that's fortunate enough that's going to know who I am is the people on this live. That's it. Because I'm not going to reveal my identity. I'm not going to. And that page is not going to be private. Everything's going to be in a circle like I told you. Circumspect. And I'm not even going to mention him at all. You're just going to see a guy with a mask talking in front of a green screen. Know what I'm saying? You're going to know. You're going to know. But the favorite, like the brother said right here, well, I mean, like the sister said right here, notice how he has specified that it was white Europeans. Yes, sir. I told you he was a racist. He's a racist. Racist. And now, like I told you, how did they get to the top of the food chain? By tricking. They didn't win no war. I'm gonna straight up tell you this. They have not won no war. No war at all. How they trick people, they make treaties. They make treaties, then they break them. They make treaties, then they break them. They make treaties, then they break them. I don't know how many times I got to say this. They do not win wars. We never won a war. Well, we Aboriginals not applied in 8 wars, but they have never won a war. Ever. But what they did, they keep messing with people. And they be like, hey, we will leave you alone if you do this. They start little. If you do this, this, and this. And once everything get all comfortable, they break the treaty and do some crazy mess. They do it every single time. And the way in Christopher Columbus' journal to Barbados, how he described how we was humble people, the system we had and everything. He said we was very, very open. We was welcoming, just like how we are today to other ethnicity groups, but not to our very own. And it's sad. It's because they got us like this. But before, we was very We was very, very loving people. We was actually practicing love thy neighbor type mess. Tough, but we was treating other people wrong. It was family. It was gang family. Real talk, big dog family. But once they see that Columbus wasn't no threat, I'm talking about the real Columbus, the black Sephardic Jew, more Columbus. Not this whitewashed one. When he came over there, he said, oh, these people are weak, but they got a good system and stuff like that. We could easily trick them and yada, yada, yada. And it took him a long time. He had to learn our ways. He had to befriend us. He had to do a lot of stuff. It takes a while to befriend us. It takes a while. But the reason I'm bringing this concept up is to show you how cunning he was. Then they start talking about how we saw warring with them and destroying their boats, their rowboats, and all that other stuff. And we kept on forgiving them. And that's how we was easily taken over. Because we too loving and caring. Our ancestors was too loving and caring. And now we're just, and I ain't going to say all of us, but majority of us is bitter. Because we're not in that frequency no more. And we can't stand it. We can't stand it. But they use their intellect, break treaties to conquer. And they still do the same thing today. Well, now they got advanced technology. They don't even have to be cunning anymore. They got the technology. They said, bro, do you know about the book America is the True Old World? Yes, I got both copies. I got part 1 and part 2. I haven't even started on it yet. I was gonna start on the America is the Old World. I was gonna start on that one. Then I was gonna start on the Tartarian One World. I was gonna start on that one after I finished this Charles Darwin. I keep saying this Darwinism book. Exposing Darwinism. I was gonna do that. Then I'm going to jump into America's the Old World Part 2 to get onto that too. But yes, sir. I got that. I got the drop. And it's sad that I cannot download the PDF so y'all can get it for free. Because, man, I would give y'all the knowledge for free. For free, like I've been doing on my page. I don't believe in information shouldn't be... Information like books and stuff, it should be free. That's just how I look at it. Even if I made my own book, it would be free. It would be free. But I believe in supporting, like how we got to get all this knowledge together and compile it together and make it into something like a presentation. I believe in donations and stuff like that. But literature should be free, because nobody should be ignorant of nothing. But yeah. It says these races would soon lose the struggle for survival entirely and thus disappear. Depopulation. And they doing it today. Darwinism. Depopulation. Now look, it says at some future period. This is the scary part. It said at some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries. So he's not going to say, he's saying it's not going to be hundreds of years from now. It's not going to be 2,000 years from now. But he said at some future period, not very distant. So he's saying it's very, very close. As measured by centuries, the civilized races of men, excluding the Europeans, will almost certainly exterminate and replace the savage races throughout the world. Who is called the savage races? Come on, think. Come on. Who's called the savage races? He said they're going to be replaced in the future, not so distant future, not centuries, but very close. They're going to be replaced, exterminated. Thank you, Aboriginals. The savage races isn't, they don't call the term savage didn't even come from us. That's what they called us when they seen us. After the Moors already domesticated them, they called people what how they used to act. And a lot of times they lied about it. So they could lie to their king and say, oh, these people are not civilized. They do this and this and that, blah, 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 blah. We can either take over the country. King James, King George, Queen Elizabeth, noble, blah, 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 blah. These are savages. Let's conquer and take their spoil and gold and all these wonderful things. Let's take the animals too. The very animals that they don't even have on their side of the world. That's why you got the camels. Did you know we had the camels first? America had the camels. And guess what? The lion in the Bible was not the African lion. The American lion was big. And did you know a lion's den? This is besides the point. This is like a sub quest on a video game. This is like a sub quest. You got the little sub guy giving you a sub mission. But look, did you know the lion's den was only existed in America? Daniel's lion's den. The lion's den is a cave. And an extinct American lion, they lived over there in the Grand Canyon, also in the California area. And there was a whole bunch of lions dens there. But they were extinct. I don't know how they got extinct. Maybe they got poached. And I believe they still there. Because if they bring out the simple fact that America have lions, do you know how many histories will be destroyed? If they tell you the truth that America had camels, host invites. All right, somebody want to get in. Let them in.
Yo.
What's up? Introduce yourself. Who are you?
You know what 1 + 1 is?
Oh, this a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This a kid. What's up? People. But look, as I was saying, look, that threw me off. Ooh, they threw me off. Boy, confusion. But look, if they bring up the simple fact that America had camels and all these things in the Arizona area and all that, and they prove that Arabia never had camels to begin with, and camels main food was the cactus. Arabia doesn't have cactuses like that. They don't. They do not. They don't have it. So biblical places changed after the Great Reset for a specific agenda. Y'all can look this stuff up. Look at what I'm saying. They're gonna call it prehistory, and they're gonna give you these extreme years, which is impossible. There's no way to pinpoint the age of something after 500 years. Impossible. Carbon dating, it's been proved that it's a lie. Okay, let me read some of these comments before I get back into it. Pretty much exterminate the Aboriginals of Europe. Nuh-uh. Charles Darwin was here in America. He was talking about here. Well, most likely all over the world, but now because Aboriginals, let's just say Aboriginals all over the world. Let's just say that. Just like a toxic mate, gaslighting, hysteria. I don't know what you mean by that. I want you to explain. We still have variation of lions. Yes, just like over here in Arkansas, we have the mountain lion, and they live in caves. Yes, we got caves. Y'all quit sleeping on Arkansas. It's a beautiful place. It's a very ancient, beautiful place. They just discovered a mummy here too. And we have a sphinx. Spanx or whatever. However it's said. We got that too. Literally in the Ozark Mountains. Quit sleeping. We got all the ancient stuff here in Arkansas. That's why Arkansas is a hush state. It's a be quiet. It's a hidden gem. Also, we got diamonds. We got diamonds. We got a diamond mine. We still have variation. Dolls are original. Yes, ma'am. Dolls are original to here. Let's talk about the gaslighting with the. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I get what you're saying now. But yeah, like I say, this is a scary thing. It says, not in a distant future. They're trying to exterminate us. And look at what's going on today. The propaganda. The propaganda. The elites literally tell you where they get their stuff from. Then they lie about it. So we know the basis of this whole entire scheme of what they're portraying today is Darwinism. That's their base. It has always been. Now we can get to the concept of Aleister Crowley and all these other people. But Darwin is the main one. So to believe in evolution is to believe in the self-annihilation of your own race. Yes, sir. All right. It says recently exterminate and replace the savage races throughout the world. At the same time, the anthropomorphous apes will no doubt be exterminated. That's the hijack. That's the hijack. They're talking about us, fam. It will no doubt be exterminated. The break between man and his nearest allies will then be wider, for it will intervene between man in a more civilized state, as we may hope. Even then, the Caucasians and some ape as low as a baboon instead of now between the knee, the N word, or Australian and the gorilla. They tell you who's the ones was going to be exterminated. You see how they just made us synonymous? Why they said the N word? Why they say Aboriginal American? And you know they compare the Aboriginal American to Australians. The Aboriginal Australians. They compared us all to the gorilla. Now that goes back up to the anthropomorphous apes. They told you, they gave you the breakdown what they perceive as the anthropomorphous apes. And I never seen an ape with thick lips, broad nose, woolly hair. Did y'all know there's animals with woolly hair? Like the penguin. The penguin has that's besides the point. But yeah, the sheep, the original lion, if you get a horse and don't comb his hair is like this. So when you read those old books from the 1600s where they describe the complexions of the Aboriginals to a horse, look up a horse. Type in a woolly hair horse. That's a horse that haven't been combed. His hair haven't been straightened. His hair is coarse, curly. Like a fluffy little pony, fairy tale mess. It's facts. Facts. Everything naturalism comes with the woolly. With the woolly. We grow up. We don't grow down. Grow up. Facts. That's my slogan. Grow up. When I say grow up, we talking hair. We the only ones. He said that's where it started. They never stopped being at war with us because they are jealous. The wild man. The wild man. They can't escape their past. The wild man. He said, yes. Now I want to hear about the penguin. Let's do a little, look, this is a video game, man. This is a side mission. This is the side mission. Let me show you the side mission. Although they keep on trying to manipulate my face. Let me show you the side mission. The side. Here we go. Naturalism. We grow up. We don't grow down. Like I'll tell you. Right here. Yes, sir. You see that? Yes, sir. Naturalism at its best. Naturalism at its best. It's in nature, the Most High Hawa, creator. I'm telling you, naturalism at its best. Y'all, this is funny, but it's true. Y'all seeing something y'all never seen before. That's not fake. It's true. Connection to the higher self. We grow towards the sun. They can't survive. Exactly. Even the penguins standing with us, bro. Aboriginal to the Arctic. Aboriginals, the Arctic, bro. Come on, man. We everywhere, even in animal form. Too small. Okay, look. Look, you see how curly it is? You see that? The other one I got, it actually showed that horse with an afro on his hind back on his neck, has fluffy like this. Like how my beard is. That's the if you go look it up, they got horses like that. The aboriginals within the animals is there. Even they hate it. They remove. Back to Mr. Charles Darwin. Darwin discredited his own theory, but this ain't the book I'm reading. I just want y'all to know who Charles Darwin, what he looked like. There's him right there. When I told you before he died, he discredited his own theory, his own thought, his own idea. And this is the book I'm showing y'all. Like I said, get the screenshot. It's the book we're reading out of right now. Get the screenshot. All right. Did I finish the rest of it off? Yeah. Like I say, he compared us to monkeys and etc. 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 But what about the Aboriginals in Australia with straight hair? Now look, I'm gonna tell you how they get their straight hair. When you get the clay from the ground and you get certain oils and you sit in the sun all day, like for example, let me show you something real quick. Give me a moment. Like for example, this. Dang, I don't know if y'all. All right, like this. This is the. Oh, it's not gonna show it. Hold up. Let me take the green screen off. Like for this, it's gonna be in backwards, but it's the Aztec. It's called Health and Beauty: The Aztec Secret. Do you know what this is? All it is just all it is just clay from the ground. That's all it is, just clay from the ground. Now, some of you probably heard about it, but for our hair, we do not use, well, for the women, this is just a gem for y'all. Some of y'all probably already know this. But us as Aboriginals, you're not supposed to use those products. All of our products are supposed to come from the ground. So you could easily go outside and get this red clay, dig it up, mix it with water, and put it on your hair like this. and let it dry out. Then your hair becomes very coarse and very smooth and very refined. Now, if you let the clay sit on your hair for a long time with a certain oil, I think it's Stevie or something like that, I don't know. But they put this clay on their head to make their hair, come down straight. But if they don't do it all the time, their hair is gonna come back like this. That's why you're gonna see some Aboriginals with afros and some of them with straight. But that's just like our ancestors over here. They say the Aboriginals didn't have beards. Well, I can show you that there's books. I can show you the old books where the Aboriginals here, they did have beards, but they had a custom where they always shaved it off, and they only let the Khans, the high priest of the Aboriginals, the priesthood, the priest Khan kings, they was the only ones allowed to have beards in the Aboriginal tribes. They're kings. So yes, we did. We did have beards. You know what I'm saying? No, don't. They still there. They still there. But just for y'all, if y'all want to know about that straight hair stuff, it's a combination of ground clay. It can be any clay. It don't matter. And I believe it's animal fat together. And you can look this stuff up. That's how we naturally make our hair straight. It's the healthy straight, not their straight. You know what I mean? Not that hot comb mess straight. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. You know the drop. All right, you said, did those devils kick out Australia? No, they still there. They still slaughtering them. It said, my great grandma was considered black, but she had long hair and it was relatively straight. What you mean by relatively straight? Is you trying to say sometimes it come out as kinky curly, sometimes it come out woolly, like it changes? We supposed to have beards. Yes, according to law, we supposed to have beards. But in the Indian cultures, most of them. Now, I need to let y'all know, every single Aboriginal of America is not an Israelite. We still had Moab. We still had Edom. We still had all of these other people. Like I said, they changed the biblical places and the biblical people. All these people was originally over here. Now, there are some that was on the other side and that waged war with us. For example, the Mongolian Empire, Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan came through the Bering Strait and they also had boats and they landed on the California side and they waged war with us and they remained here and we were slaughtering. We were slaughtering them, beating them. That's why you got some of their scores here, because they invaded during the time of Genghis Khan, when Genghis Khan was trying to control the world. Also, before that, they got Roman coins here that predates the Genghis Khan in them, showing you that the Roman Empire and the Grecians have been here too. Showing you that the Roman Empire and the Grecians have been here too. Good morning.
I don't say they weren't.
Grand Rising. But all this stuff is here. All those artifacts and everything was here. I'm gonna say it again. The Mongolian Empire invaded America and waged war during the time where they was trying to control the world, similar to the Roman tradition. They have achieved this, but they lost the war. That's why when they came over, when the expeditions came over here a couple of 100 years after that, that's when they say, oh, if we was conquered, then our system wouldn't have been in place when they came. So evidently we had won the war between us and the Mongolians when they invaded America. But you're not going to find the sources on Google. You got to get books. And the books I recommend for you to get to understand. I'm going to pick that up. The book for you to get is called, if you want to know about this, it's called The Traditions, The Earliest Visits of Foreigners of North America. It's on page 71. No, it's on page 12 and 13 where it talks about the Mongolians invading America. I'll say it again. It's called The Traditions. Matter of fact, I'll just put the screenshot up here for you. I'll put the screenshot up here for you. Because Google is not going to give you the source. They're not. Because this is the type of history they don't want you to know. here. It's called the Traditions of the Earliest Visits of Foreigners. I got you. How much your baby for? Hold on, I'm doing father time real quick. Eat. Eat. Being a father is never over. All right, can y'all hear me? Somebody say it froze. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, we did have beers. Can y'all hear me? All right, good. If you froze, just if I'm froze, just leave out and come in. But that's the book right there. It's called The Traditions, the Earliest Visits of the Foreigners. This book talks about how all of these voyagers came to be pre-Columbian, and it talks about the Mongolians invading America. It shows that their scores was here. Some of those, yeah, they is trying to stop it. It talks about, dang, there really is. Hey, well, I ain't got no warning yet, so I've been censoring my words, so they can't get me. I haven't been saying the N word. I didn't say the W word. Very sensitive. I have not been saying anything of hatred and violence. Y'all, us as people, we really do got to follow the guidelines, though. Real talk, we really do got to censor ourselves compared to other people. It's sad because others don't have to, but we got to because it is what it is. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to show you the screenshot, or you can read the book yourself. It's on, like I say, it's on page 13 and 14. Page 13 and 14, where it talks about the Chinese had came to the Americas first. That's it right there. I think this is it. Let's see. Do it say? All right. Yes. Here we go. Now, if it froze up, it's because I was looking up the photo. This is page 12, and then here we go. What's that? All right. Family info. I'm gonna look at it. Put it on. Family info. I'm gonna look at it. Put it on. What? I said, put it. Can you put it on the something and put it up there? I'll look at it.
I think this for the section.
Okay, look. The reason it froze up is because I was looking up the photo for this out of this book. Now every time I go look for something, it's gonna freeze up on you. So that's to my knowledge. Okay, now where I left off at, I said the Chinese came over here and they basically invaded. So here's the page number from that book I just showed you. It says, I already got it highlighted in green. Okay, it says it is quite as likely. However, if they applying if, but we know because the scores was already found here. The scores is here, along with the N-word type of scores, our scores. You know what I'm saying? But our scores predates the Mongolian scores. We know this. But it says it's quite as likely, however, if there was a Mongolian discovery, which is the Mongol discovery of America, that some of these Scythians, and that is the original name of the Chinese man. It's called Scythians, or Scythians, one of them. There's no such thing as a Chinese. You got to go look at everything before the Great Reset. How everything was renamed. Like, for example, India, there was no such name as India. On that side of the world, during that time of Christopher Columbus. So it's impossible for him to look for India when that India didn't exist. That country, who they call India, was actually called Hindustan and also Bharat. India came into being into 1957. It's a fact. Look it up. And now they're trying to get their original name back. They did it all for the sake of the United Nations. It's a real fact. Go check it out. But it's quite as likely, however, if there was a Mongolian discovery of America, that some of these Scythians who inhabited the northeast of Asia was the pioneers who led the way across the Bering Strait and landed in America. As that another Mongolian from distant China made the discovery. The Scythians who dwelt in the bleak Siberia went further to make war upon distant countries. Then they would have, I can't read that word because somebody's head is right there, to cross the Bering Strait and become discoverers of, let me get the next page for you. Let me get the next page for y'all real quick. They was making war with distant countries. They had to cross the Bering Strait. What was that distant country? This is it right here. I think this is it. All right. This is the next screenshot, page 13. It says America. Continuing from, what's the platform name? Oh, y'all talking about something else. Okay, it says the resemblance of the American Indians to the Asiatic races is held by some to establish the theory that Mongolians, how many times I got to tell you, the Native Americans today are Mongolians, Siberians, did cross from the Northeast Asia to America. Why did they cross? To make war with the Kingdom of Prester John. To make war with the Kingdom of Prester John in America, Amaruka. There's no reason for the Mongolians to cross the Bering Strait. They already had their country. They already had their empire. There wasn't no reason. They made the only reason for them to cross it because they already have knowledge of us over here. We was a big slave. We had a big, not slave trade. We had a big trade route. See, I'm getting that mixed up. We had a big trade route around the world. The Ethiopians used to trade with us over there. The other Ethiopians, they used to trade with us. The Phoenicians used to trade with us. There's books on this. Old books on this stating that the world used to trade with America. Pre-discovered. But again, the only reason they crossed over here was to wage war with us, and they lost. And it says the Mongolians did cross from the northeast of Asia to America. But would it not have been so easy for Americans to have crossed over to Asia as for Asiatics to have come to America? It's something to think about. Either would have been possible. and one is as probable as the others. But which one do the academia sides with? That explains how some of us is over there. Because we already knew it was a trade route. It was nothing more than a trade route. You get me? So look. I gotta put my sign down. Say hi. But look. It says either would have been possible, and one as probable as the other. The Asiatic race could as satisfactorily, whatever, be traced back to the Americans as the Americans as to the Asiatics. The Hua, or whatever, the Shin, however, if he was a discoverer of America, pay attention to this part. If he was a discoverer of America, found America according to his own account, already peopled, and by a people who must have been here for a long time. So he basically saying when the Mongolians came over here, it was already peopled by inhabitants. But who? I'm telling you, these old books tell the truth. They tell the truth. But that was just a side quest. That was a side quest. Again, get this book. Get this book. I'm going to read it for you. I ain't going to put the screenshot back up. But get this book. It's called The Traditions, Earliest Visits of Foreigners of North America. You can download the book for free from the Internet Archive. From the internetarchive.com. All right. Read that whole book, and also proves the simple fact it's impossible to pinpoint the age of a fossil that's beyond 1,000 years. It's impossible. Oh, my apologies. 500 years. It's impossible because they say all of it looks the same. All of it. So they go by layers, but they found certain people in those same layers in the mud or deep in the ground. So they've been blown out of the water. That book explains all of that. Yes, sir. But we're going back to Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin. Effects. Go, the next screenshot. Boom. Darwin's source of inspiration. Where did Charles Darwin get his source of inspiration from? Who inspired Charles Darwin? He just came up with this fallacy himself. So Charles Darwin has a master. In cahoots. The main agenda of the Illuminated ones. You know who the Illuminated ones? It ain't our illumination. It's the synthetic illumination, the illumination ones. But it says Darwin. Here's his master right here. Hold on, what's his name? Malthus. Now it says Darwin's source of inspiration. Malthus. Theory of ruthlessness. Just like the sister said. So that's the reason why they act the way they do about humanity. It's this guy. And I bet you a lot of you don't even know this guy. I just discovered him myself yesterday. Well, I'm sitting here trying to act like a big time scholar. I just discovered this guy yesterday. But it says Darwin's source of inspiration on this subject was the British economist Thomas Malthus. His book on the essay on the principle of population, left to their Dang, some of this stuff is cut off. Let me see if I can find a better screenshot of this. See if I can find a better screenshot. Some of it's cut off. But this is a better one. Yeah, okay, here we go. It says Darwin's source of inspiration on this subject was the British economist Thomas Malthus' book on an essay on the principle of population. Left to their own devices, Malthus calculated that the human population increased rapidly. That the human population increased rapidly. That the human population increased rapidly. I said it 3 times, 3 to 4 times, so you can understand. In his view, the main influence that kept populations under control were disasters such as war, famine, and disease. In short, according to this brutal claim, some people had to die for others to live. Existence came to mean permanent war. Where did Bill Gates get all this depopulation mess from? Thomas Malthus. Y'all need to put this in your literature. That's who Charles Darwin got his theories from. All right. Going back to the other screenshot, what I just had. Okay. I'm just going to have to bear with it. Some of it's cut off. It says, in the 19th century, Malthus, I think they said, I don't know, were widely accepted. His beliefs was widely accepted, because like some of this is cut off. I can't even read it. And it says European upper class intellectuals in particular supported his cruel ideas. Why you think that Charles Darwin chose his favorite people? The people who accepted Malthus' claim. And they considered them intellectuals. Remember what Obama said? The American people are stupid, and that it got to be intelligent people to run them. Boom. Here we go. Malthus theory. I'm showing you where they get their stuff from. European upper-class intellectual particularly supported his cruel idea in the article, The Scientific Background of the Nazi Race Purification Program. The program. Screenshot that, y'all. Screenshot that. Screenshot this page. Go to DuckDuckGo and go look for that article. The Scientific Program of the Nazi Race Purification. Go to DuckDuckGo and read that. But I was looking at my son. Okay, it says the importance 19th century European, whatever. I can't even read because, like I said, it's cut off. Attached to Malthus' views on population is described in this way. In the opening half of the 19th century, throughout Europe, members of the ruling classes, the elites, ruling classes gathered to discuss the newly discovered population problem. Evolutionary theory have always been about exterminating the savages. I'm telling you, the belief in Charles Darwinism, the evolutionary theory, natural selection, is the belief of is the genocide of your own nation. Yes, theories are simply just made up of thoughts and assumptions. And you're getting followed. The page is private. Well, I sent you something just in case. But hey, this is where they get it from. And who is the population problem? Us, because we are the majority. And it said, and to devise ways of implementing Malthusian mandate, the mandate to increase the mortality rates of the poor. Who got the highest mortality rate in this country? What does that medicine do today? They just admitted it. What it does. And again, that medicine that they pushing today produces a high mortality rate. It makes you barren. You can't have babies. So today they put it in medicines to make you sterilized. This go all the way back to the 1700s, people. It was a plan. A plan. An extermination plan. They say it was a natural selection. That's not natural. That's not natural. Natural is when the earth do it itself. This is controlled. Because if it was natural, we would be flourishing even more and multiplying. If we was left alone, there's no telling what we'd be doing right now. There's no telling the empires and how peaceful it would be over here right now. But that's where they got it from. And it says, instead of recommending cleanliness to the poor, we should encourage contrary habits. In our towns, we should make the streets narrow, black community, crowd more people into the houses, black community, and court the return of the plague, black community. It's crazy, man. It's real crazy. So do I have another slide? Yes. Hitler, the Nazi Party. It says that the Nazis was influenced by Darwinism is a fact that almost all historians who are expert in this matter accepted. It says the historian Hickman describes Darwinism influences on Hitler as follows. It said Hitler was a firm believer and preacher of evolution. Are you there? Yeah.
No.
But anyway, it says Hitler was a firm believer in the preacher of evolution. It says whatever the deeper and profound complexities of his psychosis, it is certain that the concept of struggle was important because his book Man Kampf, whatever, clearly set forth a number of evolutionary ideas, particularly those emphasizing struggle and survival of the fittest, the extermination of the weak to produce a better society. Evolution ain't what you perceive. Our perception of what we thought evolution was ain't what we perceive. We thought it means to change naturally. We getting better and better and better. We gonna become giants or something. But no, it was actually a forced extermination through propaganda to exterminate races. That's what evolution is. In schools, they cover it up what evolution really is. But you see, whenever you see someone on TV talk about Darwinism and evolution, natural selection, they're talking about the extermination. They test everything in Africa because they think our melanin is the same, but it's not. We got 9 strands. They got 7. We got 9. They got 7. Our melanin is the most purest because we got the purest melanin, which is the brown. The brown. If you get the science, this book called The Science of Melanin, it tells you that melanin is brown. Brown is the purest form of melanin. Not dark. It's brown. Y'all dealing with intelligent, bro. That's why nobody want to debate me. That's why that guy Murphy, he was running. The way how I'm explaining things to you is how I was. Y'all should have seen the debate. He had to get a fake native to debate me, and the native couldn't even explain himself. Oh, They ain't the name of the gods. They ain't the name of the gods of the Native Americans. I never heard of that Native American tribe. The U.S. government only recognized only a few Aboriginal tribes out of over the 100,000s of Aboriginal tribes of America. And not only that, even South America and Mesoamerica. They only recognize a few. And the ones they recognize is the fake ones who came over here through the Bering Strait. The Mongolians. The ones that invaded. The remnant that was left. Only the remnant that was left. Then they got ripped off. They broke the treaty. I believe they had knowledge that they wasn't a real people. But they was paid like agents. Like most people, paid to keep a nationality. You're paid $10,000 a month. Of course, I'll be out here saying, no, you're not the native, you're not the original. I'll be out here saying that for that good old $10,000 a month. For that good old $10,000 a month. Yes, I will. Yes, sir. 501c3. For a good old $10,000 a month. Yeah, I'll be saying $10,000 a month. I never have to work. Then, of course, they know they ain't gonna get no DNA test. But like I said, I wish I was all there to see how I made them look like fools. The guy Murphy, he went to Wikipedia as a source to discredit me versus a book from the 1600s. He said, prove that the African Americans are indigenous to America. I went to a book of a guy that lived among the Aboriginal Americans for 40 years. And he said, that's pseudoscience. How is that pseudoscience when you living? I had to break it down to him. And I said, look, Murphy, if I came to your house and I lived with you for 10 years and I documented everything that you do, your way of life and everything, is that pseudoscience? He said, nah, bro, I don't care. He kept saying, I don't care. It's because when a person say they don't care, they don't have nothing to stand on. They don't have no base or solid ground to stand on. They want to shun you away, but they actually making themselves look incompetent. But the narrative, I was explaining that if I lived in your house for 10 years and I was documenting you, everything that you do, your family, your grandma, everybody, what you do, y'all traditions, how y'all whatever you do, your belief system and everything, religiously documenting everything that you do. And I made a journal. That's a primary source. Exactly. So it's so crazy for us. We know we intelligent people, and we download the information from the great divine to help us understand what's at hand. He understood and he felt me. He know he did, but his ego wasn't allowing him to accept it. I turned his own followers against him, and he refused to let me get back on. He refused. He was letting other people get back on, but he wouldn't let me. That shows you that I won. And he kicked me off. Wikipedia over a 1600 book. But I explained this concept that James Ardera, he lived among the Aboriginal Americans, and he described that they had similar traditions of the Jews that's in the Torah. Same traditions, their belief system was similar to the Israelites in the Bible. He said it's an undeniable fact. I was knocking them out 2 times, proving that the Aboriginals was us by complexions. Hey. I said the Aboriginals us by complexions and by traditions. He gonna say so. That's how he kept saying how to prove that we are the Israelites. What type of source? What source do he got? I said, hey man, he lived among the people and he had the Bible to prove by comparing what they did. He had the feast days, the festivals, all those stuff. I couldn't even read through the whole page because he was too busy interjecting me. So when I made the synopsis, I said, look, how can I compare the modern African American to Israelites when they don't even practice the custom? You cannot make a comparison like that because to us today, we don't practice the custom. Religiously, we don't practice it. So you're making a baseless argument. Then I asked them, do you know anything about Israelite culture? No. So why are you making a debate about people you don't even know? You don't even know their traditions. You don't even know the name. He said the name of their God. Well, the broken version of it. The real one was Yahweh. Y-O-W-A. Great Spirit Yahweh. And then they say Yohiwah. And then we get the broken verses today, Yahweh, and then all these other things. It's still synonymous to the same thing. And that's the thing people don't understand. Names changes throughout history. But it's still the same thing. Just like I bet you it's not even called Israelite. I bet you the real name is something entirely, totally different that we can't even grasp. But the characteristics is the same. That's one thing people need to understand. That, hey, if they got the same characteristics, different name, it doesn't deem it false. It just means they went by a different name. Just like on this platform, I'm going by Naturalism and Yahweh. On Facebook, I go by a different name. In reality, I got a nickname, and my mom gave me a nickname. I'm known as the same person with the same characteristic, but I got different names. All through different points of the year of my life. It's the same thing. And if us as a community understand that concept, you will know how to throw out, eat the meat and throw out the bones. Absorb information and throw away the fallacies. But like I said, Hitler. And I want to know the real truth behind Hitler. I want to know the real truth behind Hitler. Was everything the way they described? Because we know they lie about history. Was it really them, or was it really Aboriginal people that was being exterminated under Darwinism? Because you know Darwinism, he compared the Aboriginals to apes and all these other things. So was it really them? Something to think about. He said he followed Darwinism. And Darwinism told you who the one that needs to be exterminated. So was it really them? Or was it Aboriginals that Hitler was fooling with? Then that made a narrative to cover it up. Something to think about. You see it right here. History is never told true, because if we found that everything was literally about us, well, we would be trillionaires. Trillionaires, not billionaires. We'll be trillionaires. A trillion for every single individual of Aboriginal ethnicity. Not just us, but around the world. Because they know what they done and they try to cover it up and they feel they're not responsible, but you still doing it to this day. And you tell lies about certain leaders and y'all say, oh, they was attacking these type of people. Then we find out it was actually our type of people. And they be like, oh, it's the past. We already. No, you did not. You still got Mongolians getting $10,000 a month. Meanwhile, black families get less than $300 a food stamp. With a Band-Aid. And the crazy stuff they teaching today, the new separation, the new separatists, the new science, masculinity versus feminism, masculinity and feminism. They created toxic masculinity and they created toxic feminism. Now they trying to make war between gender fluids, our chemicals in our body. They trying to make a war between that. They're making a war and saying that all women was rule. If anything better than women, then they said, oh, it's because of the man made everything. Everything is destruction. Do you see the science separation that they're creating today? They're making us even more separated. They doing this feminism and masculinity war for the next generation. That's the new era, the new Jim Crow. Masculinity, feminism war. It's for my children. That ain't our war. That's our children's war. That's the big side up this next. Masculinity, feminism, transhumanism. Objects stating I'm alive. You're not who you really are. That's the new war. And we, our women and our men, are slowly falling for it. Are slowly falling for it. You don't see the psyop. Nobody don't see the psyop. Who started the feminist masculinity war? BLM. Those funded organizations started all this. They got on TikTok. They started making the videos about it. Then our people soaked it up like a fool. How does gender have a power when it's just a chemical? When they already proved, they already said we was humble people. We lived in peace before they came along. We wasn't arguing about no feminism and masculinity and nothing in our ancient time. This was a war tactic to destroy us even more. The new Jim Crow. It's crazy, man. Because men are always trying to tell a woman, no, you get on here, you're practicing that. You're practicing that. You're not getting the point. It says our language, but I don't know, but you said I don't know, but they try to put the man ahead. So why do they do that? It's naturalism. That has always been. It's always been naturalism. That's the thing people don't want to understand. Our language masks our communication so that man doesn't hear women and women doesn't see man. Exactly. And on the retro plane, according to in the beginning, it's not an attack on women. It's an attack on both sides because they trying to pushing this certain agenda to make us feud against each other. It's just another thing to destroy the family even more. Because they see a rise in the black community getting married and everything again. And they got to institute something else to destroy that. They see we getting rich. They see that we becoming more family oriented. They see that we trying to take power. It's separatism. That's the reason I'm not agreeing to it. Because it's separatism. It's a war on both sides. Like now they changing men to act like y'all when that should have been stopped long ago, and now they trying to become y'all. That was a part where our women should have stepped up and said, hey, you're going too far. It was a whole agenda to replace the queens. Everybody said they try to be like our women, and you see them, they trying to be like our women. And now they trying to replace us. They trying to use us to replace them entirely in gender, to leave you with nothing. But you let it go on so far enough, and now it's so deep you can't stop it because people so driven by their attitudes. Now you got men producing this new byword, toxic feminism, betanism. Yes, everyone is trying to be like the BLK woman, the Aboriginal woman. It's a fact. It's a fact. When other ethnicity groups get mad, they don't emulate the BLK man, Aboriginal man. They emulate that BLK Aboriginal woman. It's a fact. We see it on TikTok. They doing all this with their hands and all this stuff. They don't act like us, get all mad and puffed up. They act like our women. It's true. Us men, we gotta admit that it's true. They act like our women. They don't imitate us no more. They imitate us in the hip hop. Yeah, that sort. But they view our women as strong now, and they imitate them because society is now painting the women as the strong one. Y'all don't see the psyop. They removing the definition of what strong is. And now they're making the woman the strong one. And so since, look, if these fake groups that don't have, if these fake people that don't have souls got to adapt, that's all they do is adapt. Watch how they move. They adapt into what they see as superior now. But in 2004, all the way up, even before then, they was adapted to us because we was the ones. Now society, it's the way how they trying to do it. I don't know if y'all can understand what I'm saying, but they trying to switch the roles. And so the ones that don't bear a soul is going to imitate the ones who they see has power now. It is our women because they trying to eliminate that. You got to see the side. It's because America did that. Can't escape. It's true. It's true, man. It's true. Even I can't deny that. We see it every day. That's that 5D thinking. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's the next one. Continue with Darwinism. It says Darwinist education had a major role in the formation of the communist. For instance, historians note that the fact that Stalin was religious in, I believe, his youth, but became an atheist. Remember what I told you about Darwinism and atheism? But he became an atheist primarily because of Darwin's books. Well, this is a good drop, bro. I'm telling y'all. He became an atheist because of Darwin's book. To believe in science means the disbelief in the creator. That means you got the perception that everything happened by chance and coincidence. And everything is by chance and coincidence every day of your life. That means there's nothing. Everything is accidental. So therefore, there's no perception of a creator. There's no perception of divinity. There's no perception of intuition. All these beautiful things that empower us as Aboriginals. There's no such thing under Darwinism. The only form of intellectual status is the so-called alleged Europeans. Under the survival of the fittest, which is the finish. See how I explain it? I made it so simple. I'm making it so simple that you can understand. It's a whole circle. You see how everything's circling back around? Like I told you, the symbol of life is the circle. It's not separation. It's not feminine, masculinity separated. Everything is circle. Everything is a circle and it meets. And it connects. There's no separation. And you see how Darwinism is a circle of hatred. It's a complete circle and it's circling back around. You see how it's circling back around to atheism, destruction of aboriginals, depopulation. Who are we trying to depopulate? It's a circle. Circumspect on the spectrum. Yeah, so they're using it with medical pharmaceuticals to destroy us. Let me scroll up because I know some more people said something. Go back up to where it said, well, that's their culture. Everyone trying to be like the black woman. Yep. Roman culture was all about sleeping with. Yep. They even call each other queen. Yes, I seen that like I told y'all. Peep the psyop. In the beginning said, but we got shunned for acting like us. That's they think. That's what they do. They call us thugs and all these other things. They got the synopsis. They got they terms what they call our women, and you get shunned for it. But later down the line in they households, why they hidden? They acting like us and imitating us. It's called adapting, like a robot, like an AI. They a robot in flesh. Literally a robot in flesh that has to adapt. And they, like I said, they adapt into what they see is superior now. And that's that woman now. Yes, us men, we are intellectual and logical in all these things. We know what we are. We don't even have to explain it. Bros, look, I'm serious. This age right now is an all-out attack on the woman now. They already got us in the system. They already took care of us. They already took care of us. Look at our son. Not my sons. My son's good. But look at the sons. Look at our sons. Our village, our sons. Your sons is my sons. My sons is your sons. Look at our sons. We all family. We just bitter towards one another. But look at our sons. Look at our brethren. Look at them. Look at the females today. They use profanity in every single sentence. They don't have a big vocabulary. Look at the men's too. View our hip hop. Look at our children. Look at our brethren. They got us. They got us. They are already destroyed the BLK Aboriginal man. They got us. Now it's time to get the woman. Operation Destroy Aboriginal Man complete. It's time to get the woman. It's their time now. Now, would they survive? Will they stop all this? Or will they end up like this? Will they all just continue to turn and grow beards and everything and stuff like that? Will they be completely destroyed? Because it's already destroyed. They already destroyed the nuclear family. Now they get into your personalities. They already buck breaked us. Now they finna get the woman. What would y'all do in the new Jim Crow? How would you survive? Right? Black women don't got power over here. That actually the black women do got power, because if y'all didn't have power, they wouldn't be imitating y'all. You do got power. You just don't view yourself as the power. But it's because you're an American corporation citizen that you're not counted as a human. In that sense, you don't have power. We all don't have power. Black men and women against each other. Exactly. That's exactly. The war on black and brown people didn't work on our religion and didn't work on UC. Yep, religion did work. Well, religion did work on our grandparents. That area between the 1700s to up to date, well, you might as well say all the way up to 2000, when the conscious community started flourishing and booming. When the Hebrew Israelites that only followed the Old Testament, not the New Testament, but the Old Testament started to flourish. That's when we start to see the destruction of religion in the black community, and it'll start working. So now we switch it to a whole. They got to use something else. Like I said, yep. But they already destroyed our grandparents. It's over with. Look at them. Sunday faithfully at church faithfully every Sunday. Calling, can I take the grandbabies to church? No. You not for the put fallacies in my children's head. Listen to y'all little clap your hands, stump your feet songs to the good old master that was washing people feet butt naked. No. My Elohim, my El, nobody has not seen him. He's a part of the conscious. We the part of the essence of him. He ain't came. You can't kill a God. You can't kill a God. And the way how JC's story was made, how he died and came back, that's actually us. We die and we come back through our children. Every time. That's why they said we live forever. We come back. We are literally the same souls. There's no new soul. There's no new thing under the sun. We are the same people of old. We've been in this war for a long time. The eternity war. We've been in this war for a long time. We go up, get judged, come back down. Come here, son. Come here. All right, scroll it down. Rap, beat, gel, and now married. Here you go. Okay, I'm gonna have to put him over here. I don't want you to put him in the video. Okay, scroll down. Rap, beat, gel, married. You're one. Yeah. Hello. How's it going, fam? Everything good. The Greek, we do. They dance like us, yeah. They need to reflection. They need to reflect that which reflects the Most High. Yep. Most men in the community have lost their custom. They have decided to not take responsibility. Yep. It ain't just us. It ain't just us. But like I said, the new war is on our women now. The new war is on our women. They, like I said, they already got us. That's why some of our children have old souls. Yep. Yes, sir. And guess what? I'm going to leave it for a different topic, but there's only one group of people on this earth that have souls. I say a group of people that have souls. Everybody else, synthetic AIs that only have spirits. When I say AIs, you just artificially. You're artificial intelligence. They view y'all as intelligent. You're not a real human, so you're an AI in flesh. And now they trying to create their type of human out of materialism under Darwinism that's obedient to them, but they own thing is gonna backfire. This happened before, but y'all know now. There was AIs long ago, Felician time. These things was here. They was here. They got the patents to these old things. You think they just creating them? They got patents from the 10th century. They got patents that you don't know about. Everything was so advanced back then. You think it was just wagons and horses? You really think it was just wagons and horses? You think this modern time, which modern just simply means to modification, a modification of time, to change something. It doesn't mean we're advanced. Everything was deconstruction and a reset for control. So we just get the same stuff over and over again. They had Tesla. They had Tesla towers in the 1700s. They have electricity source. They had all these things. The patents and everything is out here. They got them. Don't be fooled. They cannot create anything that has already been created. All right. But it says It says Starling. His primary source was Darwin's book, and he became an atheist after Darwin's theologies. No, not theologies. His ideals. Moy or Mao, where is the Chinese who established communist rule in China and killed millions of people. He just flat out said, "Forget it. I'm gonna kill you in the public." But who was those millions of people? Because you know those aboriginals in China. Pay attention. Their extermination was about who Darwin viewed who was going to be exterminated. So every time they say genocide, exterminate, aboriginals is all over the world. It ain't just us. He exterminated millions of who? It's the question. Millions of people openly stated that Chinese socialism is founded upon Darwinism. Chinese socialism is founded upon Darwinism and the theory of evolution. Okay, y'all see the circumspect. Y'all see. Let me put the screenshot of the book up here again, because I'm telling you, you gotta get this drop. Go type in the name of this book. Type in the name of this book on your Chrome or your Google browser and put PDF next to it. Type in Evolution Deceit by Heron Yaya. The Evolution Deceit. The Evolution Deceit. Screenshot that. Look for that book. Download it and understand it and understand it. Understand it, understand it, understand it. Understand it, you're going to teach it to people. Understand it, you understand it inside of you. Understand it when you ignorant of it, but you learning it. All the other stand on it. Let it flow to you like water. Let this knowledge flow to you like water so you can produce it. Like it come out of you like a waterfall. It's crazy. The Muslims had to come out. The Muslims had to come out and prove what's going on, because they now being attacked. They said, forget it. I might as well just tell the truth. What's going on? You want to attack my empire? Fine. Let the Aboriginals know. Some of them gonna know. They're gonna tell their people. Somebody out there is gonna tell. Well, I caught the hook. Arabian Empire. They know. They be telling the truth over there. But they won't tell you that the real Abarabians are features. But they only give you these mulatto-like people. With goat hair. Goat hair mulatto. Not woolly. The AI, the artificial. Not the original. Hold on 1 second. Huh? Yep. I got him. Okay, now the next one is let me see. I think this is the last slide right here. No, I already read that slide. I already read this slide. What's this? Okay, that's just continuing from it. It says a strong Darwinist influence can be seen in Nazi ideologies. What it said? It's kind of cut off, and it says, "Examine this theory, which was given shape by Adolf Hitler and Alfred Rosenberg. One comes across the concept of natural selection, like I just told you. Now it starts talking about selective mating and the struggle of survival between the races, which are repeated dozens of times in the works of Darwin. When calling his book My Struggle, Hitler was inspired by Darwin's struggle for survival and the principle that I can't read of it. Survival went to the fittest. I think that's what it says. So, like I said, when I was telling y'all about there was no India, there was no India that Christopher Columbus was looking for. When I say the India, I'm talking about the India of today. He was not looking for the India, but he was looking for the India in America. America. There you go. You see it? India. You see it? India, America. India, America. So, since y'all see that Christopher Columbus was looking for the India in America, what does that say about the India that we receive today? What they say about that? Right? So let's show you this map real quick. Right here of India, the India you and I know today. It was never ever called India. That was the original. One of the originals. It was Hindustan. Hindustan. So how was Christopher Columbus looking for India? Well, the India they say today is that. They say he was looking for that. That's what they say. So you tell me he was looking for Hindustan. In his journals, he said he was looking for India. Yep. Check this out right here. It said, look at us. We operate the two names. The original name, Bharat. The given name, India. They saying the original name of the India you and I know today was Bharat. And the later name that was given to us is India. The invaders of Bharat who came up to the river of Sindhu, whatever, somehow managed to pronounce Sindhu as Hindu. So the people that invaded Bharat renamed the country after they conquered it Hindustan. That's where you get the Hindu. See? It's out there. See, I need to put all these pieces together. Tear that right, here we go. This map is in the British Museum. They got the arrows pointing at it. It was edited by, by putting the arrows on it. But look, they called the Bering Strait the Annan Kingdom, the Straits of Annan. Now, since you got the information, screenshot this, by the way. I really want y'all to screenshot it. Screenshot it for your own information. Because when you start looking up this in the books, everything going to start making sense. It says the Anna. The Anna Kingdom is where they controlled their bridge. The Straits of Anna. And where they was trying to go? They was trying to go to Prester John, the Kingdom of Anna. Whom is, right there, the aerial point right under Prester John. It says India Superior. Then they got Mexico right there. And this map was in 1530. When was the time Christopher Columbus started traveling? Around that time. So the India he was looking for, like I said, this was in the British Museum. It says India Superior, Prester John Kingdom. And who was over here during the time? We got Khan Prester John, and we got Khan Genghis Khan. Two kings warring against each other from opposite sides of the world. Gotta unlearn the lies. But I'm finna go ahead and attend to my children. I'm finna go ahead and end this live. Like I said, research the Straits of Anna. Everything will start to make sense. Like I said, more screenshots for you if you gotta get it. Research Prester John. One book you can get The Lost Tribes of Israel is in the Promised Land. That talks about Prester John too. You can get old books that talks about Prester John. If you want to find these old books, go to the Internet Archives, internetarchives.com, and type in Prester John. But that's it. Peace and blessings to y'all. Hope y'all have a good day. All right.